What does it take to embrace gratitude for the people who help raise our children, even when they aren't our own? Co-parenting and blended families bring unique challenges, from navigating different parenting styles to building trust with new partners and accepting step-parents' roles in our children's lives. Today's guest is our very first second repeat guest, Lezly Kaye, a women's coach from Western Australia. I love Lezly. She's a beautiful friend, mentor, and a power of creating harmonious family dynamics. Having shared her journey through divorce and co-parenting, she brings a refreshing perspective on love, gratitude, and growth in relationships. Before we dive in, I want you to take a moment to think about your own relationship and where gratitude might be missing. How could acknowledging the role of the others shift the way you see your co-parenting journey? In this episode, we explore how gratitude for step-parents can transform co-parenting in the most importance of healthy boundaries and balances.
Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now.
Welcome back to The Nichole Show. And this is exciting because this is my very first part 2 with a beautiful friend, mentor, and fellow women's coach, Lezly Kaye, all the way from Western Australia. Welcome back, Lezly.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love jamming with you. I'm excited to see what we're in co-creation of today.
Yeah, me too. I did get so much feedback and comments. That was one of the really beautiful, easy listening podcast flow. We did touch on some beautiful areas, and I love the fact that you and I can really sink into our intuition and, be of service. So
yeah, I love it.
Let's do that. Let's sink into how to lead it today. I'd love to know, what are you celebrating though? This is something that most people don't do. So I didn't ask this before we jumped on, but what's in your heart? What are you celebrating about yourself right now?
Yeah, I'm celebrating the evolution of me as a businesswoman in this version of my business. So I'm not sure if we touched on it last time, or for those that are tuning in to my story for the first time, I've had multiple 8-figure businesses before, and it's been an interesting transition from being like a brick and mortar traditional business owner into a business coach, because it's very different skill sets. It's very different ways of marketing. It's very different ways of showing up. I led a whole entire team before. So I was sort of the face and did the business development and had all the expertise, but I wasn't really the one doing the work. I was just leading a team. And so it's been really interesting to witness my evolution as a coach and witness the evolution as a business owner I was service-based before, but again, it's just completely different in the coaching world. So just really celebrating, I'm coming up to the end of my second year. The growth, the clients I've taken on, the evolution in holding space, the success that my clients have seen in their businesses, and really the maturing into not just a businesswoman, but a businesswoman that helps other business women create the wealth that they're looking for in their lives.
I love that. And I guess for me, witnessing you, I've known you this almost that whole 2 years of your growth of your coaching business. I really want to celebrate you for being so fucking authentic. Like, I love that from a coach and a mentor and a friend. Like, I really, truly, and I've seen you come from that, that 8-figure corporate world and try and meld in, because you have a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. And then the softening, and I love the energetic shift and the grace that your new program, like, I am just in love with that. And I love the fact that your old photos, your new photos, the way that you speak, your content, your lives, and it's just authentic. It's just, here I fucking am.
Truly.
I know, because I love that, because it makes it so relatable. And everything that you've been through, everything that you experience,
you show and you grow from and you teach, and you don't pussyfoot around. It's like, okay, I didn't do this well, or I did this really well, and I really do applaud you for that. Sometimes you have your makeup done and sometimes you don't, and I love that as well. Like, you're just absolutely 100% authentic, and it's not always the airbrush photos. Sometimes it's just the real shit. And being a real person in the coaching world, for me, also being in the coaching world, I froth for it. Like, I just love it. And that's one of your words, so I'm using it, but I love it because it makes me feel even more comfortable and gives me permission to be authentically me.
Yeah,
really
I love that.
I really dislike, and I try not to judge, but I do really dislike the coaches that put a certain persona on, or a certain only portion of themselves. And you have to respect everyone's, lives and whatever else. But I personally relate wholeheartedly to your mission, to your style, to that, because I think that's what other women need for their permission slips.
Yeah.
Ask the question, to be curious, to show up, to have a hissy fit if we need to, and whatever. So I'm really, really loving that about you.
Thank you. I appreciate the reflection. I think people just want realness. I think people just want to know, like, I'm not some fucking unachievable version of being a woman, or unachievable version of being a business owner. Like, I'm messy and I'm unsure sometimes myself. And yeah, I feel it's really important to humanize business ownership. I think it's really important to humanize entrepreneurship. And like, just because I've had multi-million-dollar businesses, like, it doesn't make me any different to anyone else. I'm not fucking Superwoman. I cry the same as everyone else. I have fears the same as everyone else. It's really interesting to witness people only post the highlight reels, and it's just, I could never operate like that because it's just not true. It's not real. And I think it increases the gap on, like, where people think that they're failing, but they're not. They might just be having a really emotional week. And I don't like I want to say that people don't talk about the behind the scenes. Like, it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's, the old saying of, like, choose your hard. It's hard to wake up and go to work for someone else. It's hard to not be able to dictate your life and when you take holidays. It's hard to be working for someone that you might not agree with, but it's fucking hard being an entrepreneur. It's not all rainbows and sunshines. It's, every business has cycles of great and cycles of not struggles per se, but cycles of maybe not being as in flow as you would like, or a team member leaves, or it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And I really dislike when people pretend that it is, because it makes it feel unachievable for people that might be facing a season of I want to say, like, lessons in their business.
Yeah, 100%. I used to believe, watching Instas and Reels and blah, 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 that I had to have the perfect backdrop. And my house is all painted at the moment, guys. So if you are watching the YouTube, you've noticed that my behind has changed. And it's nice and cookie cutter at the moment. Crystal's back there. But it hasn't always been like that. And, Zooms and different things. I've had Aurora on my lap and had to stop a sales call for a potty, and I was like, you know what? That is me. I am a boss babe. I am a mother. And sometimes it has to be done together. Like, there is, it's not the 9 to 5 and going to work. And I just fully surrendered into that. And I was like, no, Aurora, she has grown up in this world. And I love the fact that she picks up on everything we do. But she comes to the retreats. She participates in Sister Circle. She hands the cards out. She taught me to breathe the other day. She's like, Mum, I think you just need to breathe. Come over with little prayer hands. And she's like, no, you've got to do it like this. And she did the big... I was like, oh, baby, thank you for picking up on me. Thank you for picking up on me, because you're right. I actually do need a couple of big breaths. And the beautiful thing is, in this world that we're weaving, in the, in the ripple effects and all the people that we're touching, that is beautiful. Like, they fall in love with my family, with ours, with Aurora, they come to the retreats. And it doesn't always have to be this perfect. You can create your business as authentically and as perfect as you like. Some other business owners would go, no way, Nichole, I don't want, my daughter or my child at my feet while I'm doing that. I love it. Like, I love a kid if they cry and I'm doing a meditation. Cool, mums need to meditate too. We just add that into the script. But for me, it was just really like surrendering to the balance of the both. Like it doesn't have to be one way or the other. And yeah, that for me really, really helped business when I stopped judging myself and making myself have all these like reasons not to, or it's not perfect, or I can't post that, or I get more feedback, more DMs when I have a really deep, vulnerable share about Aurora losing her shit or me or something that's happened. People are like, oh my God, that makes me feel so much better than me just going, oh my God, I'm just, in Bali doing this amazing retreat. Like, yeah, it's great to see that, Nichole, but tell me more about the actual behind the scenes shit, because it makes me feel better.
Yeah, I want to say, and this is the beauty of being a business owner, we get to choose. We get to choose how authentic we want to be. We get to choose the level that we share our lives. And I think for me, it's just checking in with that internal compass of like, how much truth do you want to bring to the world here? Love, truth, and freedom are my highest values. So for me, it doesn't feel truthful to only show the highlight reels. It doesn't feel truthful to only talk about the fucking private jets and designer handbags and all of the materialistic things that people are seeking. Like, I want to know how you show up as a leader when you're like on your hands and knees, like praying for God to help you through this season of your life. I want to know how you show up as a leader when something does go wrong. Maybe you are on a podcast and your child walks in, or maybe, maybe you're midway through a breakthrough with a client and something happens. Like, it's easy to lead when things are going well. Like the depth of your leadership actually shines in the times where you think that you're not going to make it through, or you're going to be judged, or you're going to be shamed. Like, that's the depth of your leadership. Anyone can lead in harmony. It takes a strong leader to lead in chaos.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. I want to just share something that dropped in. We've had a couple of challenging weeks. Abby's mum passed away, and then there was family stuff that went on, and we had the funeral literally the day before I hosted a retreat. And Abs was really my ride or die, and she still decided to participate in some of it and bring Aurora. But what I absolutely loved is that in my business, I could share that. Like, I was like, okay, guys, like, here it is. And and these were beautiful clients that I had worked with before. They weren't ones that I just randomly got for a retreat. These were girls that had worked for me for over a year. And they flew in from all over the country, which I was super proud of. So that's my celebration.
I was going to ask. So, yeah.
My retreat was the best one yet. 15 girls, 6 flew in from across the country, all different places, WA as well. And they held space for Abby, and they knew Aurora because of my socials, and they played with her and looked after her. And because Abby just couldn't hold space, she's just so grief stricken and everything she's going with, everybody loved on her just as much as I did, and we just fell into that. And I just feel like that is exactly what you're talking about, like leading through chaos and just being totally honest. I could have had a wall up and pretended, but no, like just being authentic, like this is what's happening, like these are the things that are going through, and moving through that was so beautiful. However, my lesson was after that. So after holding space for the funeral, the family stuff, and the retreat, I had my own coaching session with my coach, sitting here in this beautiful pink chair. And as soon as I switched on, I just cried. I just she held space for me, and I just cried. I could feel the sadness, I could feel the relief. And she's like, this is so beautiful, Nichole, but why? Why can you not do the both? Why could you have not cried throughout? Why could you, where is that flow? And I was like, oh, that's a good lesson. Like, even through the chaos that I was believing, and I was doing the very best that I could with the skill set I had, but why did I feel it necessary to almost still at some point hold a part of myself back to not fall apart until later? It's just one that's kind of like I'm just playing with. It's like, oh, how do you mix that into flow so you're not holding things back? So.
I actually find that a really curious question, because and I love jamming like a live through thought process with you, because what comes to my mind is like, where is the boundary or the border or the expectation for us as leaders to hold a safe space for those that are coming to us to be held? Because I want to say I feel why you would have, and I think I would have been the same. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I love the reflective question that she's posed here, but I think it is a form of self-leadership. You know, I think in your decision to keep the retreat on and to not cancel that, so that's a form of leadership. That's like, hey guys, I want to be honest with you. This is what's happening here. Full transparency, creating the space for it to for the truth to be there, and them supporting and honoring Abby, which is beautiful. And it's not to say that we can't be soft in our leadership or show emotion in our leadership, but I feel this piece of like, yeah, like people are coming to me to create safety, and I want to hold that safety for them. And it's not to say that it's unsafe to show your emotions, but yeah, it's just I'm curious as to how I would process that as well, because, you know, I feel like if women are in my world, I'm creating the container for them. Like, yeah. I'm creating the space for them to unravel. I'm creating the safety for them to bring their mess.
I mean, it was just a curiosity that I had. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. But I literally felt it. Like, even as I was building up, because I was almost going to cancel my session because we're getting this house ready to sell and painting and you name it. It's here. So I had a lot of like energies going in so many places. But as soon as I sat down and just sat in with her, I just bawled. Like, I didn't even have to take the first breath. And I think it's that safety of being held. And like you said, though, because I do love holding that space for others. I love it when you take a breath and someone shifts and just feel so safe in your, you know, company to divulge what's going on. But yeah, I was just interested. Like, I guess I'm still processing that. Like, how else and why was that? But I know that I have a very safe rapport with her, and maybe it was just that time to have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am super proud of the community that I've, you know, cultivated, the coaches that I have, and the people that hold space, because I never used to cry. Never. Like, I'd have a tear or two, like, you know, they run down, and then I'd be like, all right, let's get on with it. And having that, you know, beautiful release now, like, it's such a permission slip again to process those emotions and feel.
Yeah, it's such a curious question. I don't feel like I would hide it, and I think a lot of it's in the vulnerability and the conversation. Like, hey, I'm feeling a bit tender, but I'm here to hold you. And, you know, an invitation into your own soft leadership is we don't need to hold it all together all of the time. And it's a really curious question. I'm excited to see how that unfolds in my own experiences.
Yeah. Any updates on beautiful Lincoln? Because I do like really know. How is he going?
Yeah, he's beautiful. He's so I have a 6-year-old, Lincoln, and I co-parent. He's with his dad this week. We went to a festival on the weekend.
I did see a photo of that. That was so cute.
Yeah,
you're looking sexy as well, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, mum was ready to be in a relationship. So, and I actually
turn it up.
Yeah. No, I actually love being in my full expression around Lincoln, full expression with boundaries. And it was really curious again to witness it's a festival. There is people there taking drugs. Things get a little bit crazy at nighttime, but we were in bed by 10 p.m. The festival was very family friendly. During the day, they had like crafting workshops and kids yoga and kids acrobats and all of these sorts of fun things. So for me, it was like an experience, or almost a desire to see what blending the worlds would be like in that sense.
Was that in Western Australia?
Western Australia, yeah. And I'll probably go to another one over New Year's. But yeah, it felt really safe. It felt really grounded. Because people were like, you can't take kids to a festival because things get a bit wild. But given that we were in bed by 10 p.m., like the wildness kind of kicked off at 10 p.m. because on the last night, his dad came and picked him up. And I had the last night as solo. And yeah, from like 10 till midnight, it got a bit cray because, you know, I was in bed by midnight myself. I'm not a 6 a.m. party girl anymore. But I think it was a really beautiful balance, a really beautiful, also like expression and showcasing for him of like freedom and expression.
Yeah.
I really love almost like inviting him into a world of possibility versus the rigidity of like, this is school and this is basketball that you're going to go play. And, there's an element of me that's like, okay, his dad's a bit more of the stable and mum's a bit more of the crazy in a good way. And
Why you get along so well.
and I take him to the festivals, and I kind of throw the rule book in the bin, and it was really beautiful, and he had a lot of fun. He loves to express, he loves to play, as all kids do. So I bought him a pixie whip, and he thought it was the best thing. So for those that don't know, a pixie whip is like a whip that glows. So he just loved being a kid, like climbing on things and getting dirty. And, I'm freaking out about not showering for 3 days, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, love that. Camping, love it. That's really cool. We do have a festival here in South Australia called Goodness Me, and they opened it up to kids. I think maybe this next one, that'll be the third one they're opening to kids, which is going to be really cool. And then next year they're going to make it a 2-day one in the forest, which is better because the place that they're having it is not quite big enough now for camping. And I love that. As I said, Aurora's grown up around spiritual workshops, retreats, meditation circles. The rest of my boys, they've seen it all. Brody grew up around hypnosis and Paul, and learned all that. I think it's a really beautiful thing. And in the crazy world, if you want to put the crazy hat on, for those listening and have been or been looking at my socials more, I've thrown the rule book out the window. I'm showing everything, the pole dance me, the bisexual me, the all sorts of me, so that people don't feel segregated or masked. And that was something that I had felt so restricted on for a while. My kids grew up around drag queens and expression and burlesque and pole dancing, and creativity and arts. And I remember one of my friends, when my boys were younger, she was in the adult industry, a stripper, and I was spray tanning her because I was still doing beauty back then. And I was like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I told my boys what you do. She goes, no, I actually love it. Like, give me a name, give me a face. Like, let's educate children to know that when they do start watching pornography or watching those types of things, that I'm an actual human being. Like, let's normalize that. And so I've always been one of those ones to have the deep conversations, to talk about everything, probably too much information, really. But I'd rather my kids be so educated that they know that there's nothing that they can't ask me about. I pretty well know, and if I don't know, I'll say. But I talk to them about all of that, and exactly that, drugs and festivals and all of those things, because my baby just turned 18 last month.
I saw.
I know, and I still look 25.
You do.
No, I love it. And it's just so beautiful to see, they are our best reflection, our best mirrors of the work that we've done on ourselves.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, so he's good. I'm going to start enrolling him in, I think I'm going to take him to BJJ, get him in some martial arts, and but school holidays at the moment. He's been with Dad this week, so next week I'm just preparing for the chaos.
Well, what's some of the co-parenting tips that you have now? Because that's a really good one.
Oh, I'm actually about to release an article on this.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in 2 big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing.
The best co-parenting tip I have is to heal your father wound, heal your mother, just heal. Because, when me and my ex-husband first separated, we didn't have a relationship. I blamed him, he blamed me. He carried a lot of pain because I ended the relationship. And I did the work to heal all the ways in which I emasculated him, in which I didn't appreciate him, in which I was expecting him to show up different to who he was. And over a 12-month period, we went from hating each other and not talking to being best friends.
I love that.
And inside of that, he didn't do any work. He was still, he obviously grew because pain sort of makes you grow. Grief makes you grow. But he didn't, I want to say, do any concentrated work on healing the relationship. And inside of the work that I did to stop blaming the masculine and blaming him and projecting all of my pain for all of my unmet needs onto him, we co-parent so well. Like we flexi parent. If I want to go on holidays for 3 weeks, he just has our son longer. If he wants to go on holidays, I have him. We don't really have, we have like a guideline. So it's a week on, a week off. But yeah, like I wanted a night at the festival last week, so he came and picked him up, but it was my week with him. And we let Lincoln guide us as well. So, you know, on Wednesday, so 2 nights ago, I don't know what day it is. I've been so Friday, yeah. He Lincoln was like, hey, I want to go stay at Mummy's. So Ben just calls me and he comes and stays with me. So yeah, I want to say we have, I guess, a rough guideline of when we're going to have him, and then we just flexi parent, and it's really led by Lincoln. There's been moments where Lincoln has really struggled with the separation. We thought, you know, it's been almost 3 years now, but it's like at every age that Lincoln grows, there's actually a new level of healing that he has to go through. And I think it's because kids talk about it more in school. He has more awareness around it. And as he's moving through his levels of awareness and education and growth, he realizes new things or needs to be supported in our separation in new ways. And so there was a period where he wanted to have us both together for longer periods of time. So Ben, my ex-husband, lives only 5 minutes from me, which I'm very grateful for. And he would come over and help me put Lincoln to bed, or come have conversations about the fact that, you know, he had more love, not less love, and that mum and dad still love each other. We're just not together and we're still a family. So, yeah, I want to say the more we stop expecting them to do the work to heal or to fix the relationship or to, you know, I say this in my article, I was expecting my ex-husband to lead me somewhere I wasn't willing to lead myself, into more love and forgiveness. And when I actually stopped projecting that on him and expecting him to lead me there, and as soon as I was like, cool, well, the feminine is actually the leader of love, and actually took responsibility for walking myself there first, he then met me there. But sitting on the sidelines going, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, I want you to heal this, I want you to communicate with me like this, it wasn't solving anything or getting anyone anywhere. And when I, took my own self-responsibility and healed that expectation and those parts of me that were operating from a wound, our whole relationship shifted.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's taken me 10 years to, cultivate a beautiful co-parent. We've always co-parented well in regard to the time spent, but our own relationship got very struggled, mine and my ex. And I do remember, it's something that I've always done the work on, and him very not consciously or unconsciously. And, I've done many, so many different healing modalities on it. And I do remember having a conversation with him a few years ago. He's like, I just don't want the drama. And I'm like, yeah, but you were so judging me on the Nichole that you knew, 5 or 6 years ago. You don't know who I am now. You can't. And I think just from opening to that and continuing to come back with love, I've always said that to the boys, and I even say it now. And I think I just got stronger in my courage to say that. I will always love him. And he'd be like, but why do you say that? I'm like, I say it because it's true. I love you. We're not together, and that's okay, but we have these amazing kids together, and I'm always happy. And it took him a really long time to let that in and to be able to come back, because he was so hurt because I had left him in the relationship too. But coming back to that love, coming back to that strength, like we have really good conversations now. I wouldn't say we're best friends because he has his own reservations, but we do have a beautiful relationship and conversation, and the same thing, like they're flexible co-parenting. They do week on, week off. My oldest, he's so in the middle, like he's such an advocate for the both of us, but he hates, they've actually changed to 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, because imagine doing this for 10 years, like one house, like I never it does drive my 18-year-old nuts. But I've given him the choice. It's like, you don't have to wait. Like, you can pick one house if you want to, as long as you see the other one. He just doesn't want to. Like, he just But yeah, I do believe that, like, coming back to love, which is a superpower to heal, it's not for them, it's for you. Like, you have to surrender to that and let go of that expectation of how they're going to show up, because that's probably the reason that you're not with them anyway. So let go of that expectation, come back to love, and, you know, try and have that open communication,
Truly.
to be the best versions of yourself for the children that you have.
Yeah, truly. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it is. It's really beautiful. And I'm super proud of you, because that is a hard one to lead with. Like, it really, really is. And we are so conditioned. I'm talking about, like, you know, that we are, you know, you leave your partner, you hate them.
Truly. I honestly, me and my ex have this conversation all the time of how grateful we are that we've got into the relationship we have, because all we hear is stories of people hating each other or using the kids as pawns, or even in the. I also want to say it hasn't always been perfect. There's moments where there's been tension, but we never put Lincoln in the middle of that, and that was kind of our
Boundary.
agreement. Yeah, a boundary from the beginning. It was like, if we have tension, that's an us thing. We're not going to use Lincoln as a pawn in any of our emotional requirements.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's so needed. Like, you know, co-parenting can look anyways. I've seen some really cool things over the last few years, like with blended co-parenting, and you know, people having new babies, and you know, the ex babysitting with the other kids and stuff. Like, I just love it. Like, I just think, why not create the world that you want? Don't go, you know, that's their house, this is this house. Like, no, come
Truly.
on in. Like, you know, we had, yeah, Brody's 18th, and it was so beautiful that his dad was there. It was the first time we actually had a family thing, but his choice. But yeah, and my parents were there, and some really close friends, and then, like, Abby, which is their stepmom, and then Lorna, which is the stepmom on that side. It was beautiful. Like, I was so proud. Because, you know what? Step parents probably don't get enough credit. I'm not sure. But, you know, without their love, without their acceptance of these kids and putting into the homes that they're in either side, they wouldn't be the humans that they are. Like, they're learning people too. And they're both selflessly adding finances, love, teaching to these beautiful humans. And I sent my ex's partner a message just saying how grateful I was for her, because my boys wouldn't be the same without her extra input. And so a big shout out to all the step parents out there that do fall in love with kids that are not biologically their own, because it does make a difference, you know, having beautiful role models in their lives.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, my ex-husband's new partner is beautiful, and I'm sure she does her fair share of loving on my son. And I'm grateful for the relationship that they have, and her capacity to accept and welcome the relationship that me and Ben have, and obviously my son into their world and their life. You know, they bought a house together, they live together. So it's a beautiful reminder for the gratitude for her capacity to integrate that into her life too.
Yeah, because they have to fall in love with our kids too. And it's a big thing, like, as a, you know, because they're our babies, you know, but to let somebody in and then to just have that gratitude for them, because, they are another role model and a beautiful human in our little souls' lives. So, yeah, big shout out to step parents as well, because their job is definitely not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. Where are you feeling now?
Yeah, what are you excited for in the next couple of months, in the future? Like, what are you calling in? What does it look like? Yeah, what's filling your heart and mind and soul at the moment?
Well, I am manifesting my new house. Like, that is one of my top energetic focuses at the moment. And I had a very busy and also a little wobble at the beginning of the year. We've got some delicious jam-packed travel at the end of this year. So I'm on Bali next week for a beautiful friend's wedding and some healing with Jocko. Abby and I are taking Aurora to Bluey World, so we're up to Brisbane I've also got this access to some cheaper travel. So I'm like, Abs, where are we going? Like, let's do something really cool, just me and her. And then we're taking the whole family to New Zealand in December.
Wow, cool.
So I'm really looking forward to, when you work so hard, which I do love, I like to play hard too. And I really, really enjoy carving out time. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to is I'm buying another phone. I've had my number for 20 odd years and been an entrepreneur forever. And I've never had, like, I've got my business number on the CRM, but I've never had a separate business. I'm getting another number. I am not taking my phone with all my apps to any of those places. That's what I'm excited about, to actually give myself permission to switch off totally and give that phone to somebody else and
Love it.
Be present with my friends and family for some holiday enjoyment and
I love it.
Memory making.
Yeah, beautiful.
What about you? What are you excited for the end of the year? It's going to be here before we know it.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it is. Service is lighting me up right now. I'm about to kick off a marketing campaign to bring even more people into my world. Like I said at the beginning, like really just in celebration of the leader that I am in this space and the leader that I'm becoming, and all the new people that are coming into my world and all the new ways in which I'm serving. Just excited for more life, more love, more women to serve. Might even start opening up my books to men. I put up a post the other day for a new offer, and like half the people that commented were men, and I was like, all right, universe, I'm listening.
Yeah. But I think sometimes men feel more comfortable with female coaches. I've, coached a lot of men in my time as well. And there are some beautiful, men's coaches out there. But I think that, do it. I think you'd have a great perspective for some of them to really coach with. That's exciting.
Yeah. So really just in the excitement of how everything's unfolding and what's next, really. I'm in so much gratitude and I'm in so much excitement.
Didn't you say that you are going to release your own podcast soon?
Yes. So I have a new podcast coming out, Unmasked Founders. It will be released, I'm going to say it's probably going to be 2 to 3 weeks away. I'm starting to record my episodes.
Yes, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. So it's been like 2 years, I think, literally 2 years in the making, and I've just started to record finally. So I've sort of just invited some people to guest on it, and by doing that, it's sort of an invitation for me to stop fucking around and actually get it done. So that'll be out. Let's just say it'll be out by the end of the year, but I'm in the recording process right now.
I love that. And I guess one of my other celebrations is this podcast, like the permission to have other people in there, to have a voice, to talk about things that, you might not see on my socials. I mean, I try and be as open and transparent as I can, but, I actually had a bit of a moment when one of my new clients was like, yeah, I know everything about you, Nichole. I've been listening to every podcast. And I was like, oh, that's a good reflection, because I don't hold back. And, I'm celebrating you. I can't wait to listen to yours. It's such a beautiful platform to offer these learnings to anybody that wants to listen.
I love it.
Well, as I said at the beginning, we had some beautiful feedback, and I am still going to throw it out into the universe. Maybe you and I will have our own little It is honestly a real honor to chat with you. It is so effortless. I think we go really, really deep. It flows beautifully. So any feedback, or if you actually love Lezly and I chatting and you want us to cover a topic, shoot it our way. We'll make some time.
Fully. Ask me any questions, guys. Like, truth is my highest value. I will answer, whether it's about $1 million businesses, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about, I don't know, fuck ups, whatever it is. Like,
100%. What's our biggest fuck ups? Oh my God, we could go through that. That could be a whole episode right there.
I reckon it could be a whole series of episodes, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. What's your biggest fuck up this year, this week, this month?
Truly.
Thank you so much for spending time. I really, really do honor that. Lezly's details will be all underneath if you're, vibing with her and what she offers into the world. Obviously mine, like and subscribe. And if we can help be of any more service, let us know.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
So welcome.